Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to a very exciting Green Monday, a full house. We've done 70 events at Green Monday in our journey to evolve sustainable business models. And I can categorically tell you this is our most exciting event. So if this is your first time here, you've picked very well. Because tonight we're asking a revolutionary question. Revolutionary for sustainability and for business. And that question is, can 200 experts influence the strategy of one company? And in doing so, can they create an ideas menu for companies across all sectors? Implicit in that is a suggestion that we're moving into a more open era of business. But let's start with the story of how we got here tonight. Green Monday has long held a view that if companies were to share their sustainability strategies, we could turn battles won into a war won. Because we see companies across all sectors grappling with really very similar issues. How do you hold sustainability in your corporate structure? How do you set the investment thresholds for your sustainability investments? How do you engage with your customers? What language do you use? Do you reward them? How do you engage with your supply chain? How do you share knowledge between your suppliers? How do you embed technologies into your supply chain? So by sharing what works and what doesn't work, we can reduce innovation risk. And when we reduce innovation risk, we reduce discount rates. When we reduce discount rates, we increase deployment of investment. And crucially, we can do all of that without doing anything that isn't commercially attractive. So with this belief, we talked to a few of the leading companies in sustainability, and we asked them if they'd like to put their strategy before the crowd in a process that some were coming to call the wearing of the corporate mankini. And we got a great response. Every company we talked to said, this is the future. But there was a problem. No one wanted to be the first company to do it. And in July, we went to see Sainsbury's. I met with Alex Cole, who's the communications director, and I explained the format at the end of a meeting, and she said, can I bite your hand off? And I thought, that's a terrific response. Let's see how far that goes. She talked to Justin King, and she came back and said, can we do it before November? And this is 10 weeks ago now, so it's been quite a job to get tonight ready. And it began with, we went through all of Sainsbury's public documents, and we then interviewed about 30 Sainsbury's employees, and we laid out their strategy across 10 key areas for you to review. And we had no idea really how you were going to respond to this, because no one really had done this before. How much time were you going to put into it, and how willing were you going to be to share your views with Sainsbury's and with each other? And I think if we've already proved one thing in this process, is that we are willing to share. And I think you can see that in the fact 80% of you guys responded to that appraisal. You put in 684 comments. You created a gap analysis for Sainsbury's of where their biggest opportunities lie. And you voted for leaders in each different area of strategy. And I think most importantly, you created a common voice. Despite your myriad of different opinions, you offered and are offering clear and consistent advice backed up by a variety of opinion. And I think we'll evolve that further tonight. So tonight is really part 2 of this process, where we're going to get more insights from the leadership team. And we'll be putting your appraisal through the final stages of discussion in the round tables. So I'll just tell you what you've got in store for you. You've got An opening from Justin King for around about 10 to 15 minutes. Justin King, as I'm sure many of you are aware, is one of the most respected FTSE 100 CEOs. He's been at Sainsbury's for 8 years. During that time, he's delivered 30 consecutive quarters of growth, which is a remarkable achievement during challenging economic conditions. So Justin will open by responding to the crowd. Then Andrew Hill will come on. Andrew is the management editor of the FT. He will interview Justin for around about 20 minutes. Justin will then be joined by Ben Jack, who is a farmer for Sainsbury's, and we'll find out what it's like to supply milk, which is obviously a very topical issue at the moment to Sainsbury's. We then go into the Q&A session, where we'll be joined by Anna Ford, who's a non-executive director and also the chair of the CR committee, Neil Sachdev, who's the property director. So that's the Q&A. That's an opportunity for you to put more questions directly to the management team, perhaps on particular areas of the appraisal. And the hashtag tonight is GMSains, GMSAINS. And all of your comments that you put on Twitter, which you can see on the screens here, we will also be capturing into the wisdom of the crowd. So it's a great pleasure for me to now hand over the microphone to Justin King.